In a surprising move, President Trump has publicly discouraged Apple from expanding its manufacturing operations in India. This statement has sent ripples through the tech world, raising questions about the future of global trade and manufacturing. Trump's comments highlight the complexities of international business in a politically charged world. The president's remarks came as a surprise, as Apple has been steadily increasing its presence in India for years. India, with its vast population and growing middle class, is seen as an attractive destination for companies like Apple. However, Trump's intervention signals a potential shift in U.S. policy towards global trade. This protectionist stance has significant implications for companies operating in a globalized economy. The debate about the role of government in shaping corporate decisions is likely to intensify. India has emerged as a crucial player in Apple's global strategy. The country offers a unique combination of factors that make it an attractive destination for manufacturing and sales. With its vast and young population, India represents a significant growth market for smartphones and other consumer electronics. Additionally, the Indian government has implemented policies aimed at attracting foreign investment and boosting domestic manufacturing. Apple's interest in India is driven by several factors. Firstly, the country offers a large and relatively untapped market for its products. As smartphone penetration in developed markets plateaus, emerging economies like India present significant growth opportunities. Establishing manufacturing facilities in India allows Apple to reduce its reliance on China, where labor costs have been rising. This diversification of its supply chain makes the company more resilient to geopolitical and economic shocks. Furthermore, manufacturing in India allows Apple to benefit from government incentives and potentially lower production costs. Apple's presence in India extends beyond just manufacturing, actively expanding its retail footprint in the country. President Trump's statement discouraging Apple's expansion in India should be viewed within the broader context of his America First trade agenda. This doctrine emphasizes protecting American jobs and reducing the trade deficit by promoting domestic manufacturing and renegotiating trade deals. Trump's stance reflects a belief that globalization has led to the outsourcing of American jobs and undermined the country's economic competitiveness. The America First agenda has manifested in various policies, including tariffs on goods imported from China and renegotiation of trade agreements like NAFTA. These actions have created uncertainty and volatility in global trade, prompting companies to reassess their supply chains and investment strategies. Proponents argue that it is necessary to protect American jobs and interests in an increasingly competitive global economy. However, critics contend that protectionist policies will ultimately harm the U.S. economy by raising prices for consumers and businesses. The America First doctrine has had a profound impact on global trade relations, straining relationships with long-standing allies and fueling trade tensions with China. The uncertainty created by this approach has made it challenging for businesses to plan for the long term. India and Apple find themselves navigating a complex geopolitical landscape in the wake of President Trump's statement. India, eager to attract foreign investment and boost its manufacturing sector, is keen to maintain a positive relationship with the U.S. while also asserting its own economic interests. Apple, caught between its global ambitions and the political realities of its home country, faces the challenge of balancing its commitment to India with the potential repercussions of defying the U.S. president's wishes. India's response to Trump's statement has been measured. The government has reiterated its commitment to creating a favorable environment for foreign investment and emphasized the mutual benefits of economic cooperation. Apple has highlighted its existing investments in India and its commitment to creating jobs in the country. However, it has stopped short of making any firm commitments about future expansion plans. This situation highlights the delicate balance that multinational companies must strike in an increasingly polarized world. The outcome will likely depend on the evolving trade policies of both the US and India, as well as the strategic choices made by Apple. Section 5. Shifting Sands, Reshaping the Global Manufacturing Landscape. President Trump's statement, discouraging Apple's expansion in India, underscores the shifting sands of the global manufacturing landscape. For decades, China has reigned supreme as the world's factory floor, attracting massive foreign investment and becoming the epicenter of global supply chains. However, rising labor costs, trade tensions, and the COVID-19 pandemic have exposed the vulnerabilities of over-reliance on a single country for manufacturing. This has led to a growing trend of diversification, with companies seeking to reduce their dependence on China by establishing or expanding manufacturing operations in other countries. This trend, often referred to as China Plus One, is driven by a desire for greater resilience, cost optimization, and access to new markets. India, with its vast labor pool, growing middle class, and government initiatives to promote manufacturing, has emerged as a prime beneficiary of this shift. Other Southeast Asian countries, such as Vietnam and Thailand, are also attracting increased investment as companies seek to diversify their manufacturing base. This diversification of global manufacturing is likely to have far-reaching implications. It could lead to a more balanced distribution of manufacturing activity across the globe, potentially reducing the economic and geopolitical leverage that China has accumulated. However, this shift also presents challenges. Establishing new manufacturing ecosystems requires significant investment and time, and countries need to ensure a favorable business environment. Section 6. A test of wills, the stakes for Apple, India, and the world. The current situation presents a test of wills for Apple, India, and the broader global trade order. For Apple, the stakes are high. The company's decision on whether to proceed with its expansion plans in India will have significant implications for its global supply chain and its competitiveness in a key growth market. India, too, has much at stake. The country is eager to attract foreign investment and create jobs to support its rapidly growing population. Success in attracting companies like Apple is seen as crucial to achieving these goals. However, India also wants to avoid becoming overly reliant on any one country, particularly one with which it has a complex geopolitical relationship like the United States. The broader implications of this situation for global trade are significant, highlighting the growing tension between national interest and the forces of globalization. Section 7. A new dawn for global trade. The current situation involving Apple, India, and the United States highlights the profound changes underway in the global trade landscape. The era of unfettered globalization, characterized by the free flow of goods, services, and capital across borders, is giving way to a more fragmented and contested system. The rise of economic nationalism, fueled by concerns about job losses, trade imbalances, and national security, is prompting governments to take a more active role in shaping trade flows and investment decisions. This shift has both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, it could lead to a more balanced and resilient global economy, with manufacturing and innovation more evenly distributed across different regions. On the other hand, the fragmentation of global trade could lead to higher costs, reduced efficiency, and slower economic growth. Navigating this new landscape will require businesses and policymakers to adapt to a more complex and uncertain environment. Section 8. The future of Apple in India. Despite the current uncertainties, the long-term prospects for Apple in India remain positive. The country's vast and growing market, coupled with its increasingly skilled workforce and improving infrastructure, makes it a highly attractive destination for manufacturing and sales. While political considerations may cause some short-term volatility, Apple is unlikely to abandon its plans in India altogether. The company has already made significant investments in the country, establishing manufacturing facilities and expanding its retail presence. These investments demonstrate Apple's long-term commitment to the Indian market. Section 9. Conclusion. A new world order in global trade. The situation surrounding Apple's expansion plans in India highlights the dawn of a new world order in global trade. One characterized by increased government intervention, shifting geopolitical alliances, and a greater emphasis on national interests. While this new order presents challenges, it also creates opportunities for countries and companies willing to adapt and innovate. The outcome of this new era in global trade will shape the global economy for decades to come.